My dear child, my beloved, something quite unusual is taking place in the spiritual realm at this very moment. Heaven has been attempting to connect with you throughout the morning. And this isn't without purpose. A specific letter has been resonating around you constantly day and night. Heaven keeps reiterating this letter repeatedly, the letter M. This isn't just happenstance, it's not random. A warning is being carried on the wind. Yet only the chosen individual can perceive it. And that chosen one is you, my beloved. Do not disregard this summons. I approach you not merely as Archangel Michael, but as a divine messenger personally sent by God. And God is speaking softly in my ear, urging me to tell you. Inform them swiftly before they commit the gravest error of their life. Please, prior to my delving deeper into this urgent message, subscribe now to activate God's prophetic promise and alignment in your life, so you never miss out when heaven delivers another private word intended solely for you. Because the message for today has already been obstructed 3 times by the adversary before it could reach you. Someone attempted to prevent this message from getting through. And I will reveal why. The truth contained within this message is poised to expose something or someone, and their name begins with M. You're sensing this already, aren't you? There's an unsettling atmosphere surrounding you. You've chosen to ignore this strange energy, but heaven has not. God has been observing its development for weeks. This individual is not who they portray themselves to be. They offer smiles to your face. Yet behind your back, they've uttered words that would completely devastate your heart. I require you to remain with me for every single word of this communication, because the next 20 minutes possess the power to safeguard your life, your tranquility, and heaven caught them, God knows, and now you do as well. Your destiny. Someone is alerting you, and that someone is no ordinary spirit. They are currently in the spiritual domain crying out your name. They witnessed what was done in secret, and they hurried to heaven's gates to intercede for you. Their warning was delivered with unmistakable clarity. But only you have the capacity to act upon it. Only you possess the authority to undo what has been performed. Yes, my beloved, something has been perpetrated against you. But do not be alarmed, because the same God who permitted you to receive this message is the God who will demolish the scheme of the one whose name begins with M. If you believe God's power is already at work to demolish this scheme, type Amen. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, does not go to a. Now, to affirm your faith and readiness, please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Allow me to clarify now. This individual is more than just a friend or a mere acquaintance. They might reside in your home. They might be a part of your lineage. They might be in your phone, or they might have recently departed. The reality is they've been obstructing you, impeding your joy, hindering your financial breakthrough, delaying your health recovery, blocking your divine relationships, disrupting your peace set. But their lingering presence still affects your energy. Night. They believed no one would notice. They presumed God would remain silent. But oh, how profoundly mistaken they were, because heaven is not slumbering. Heaven is observing, and now heaven is taking action. But here's your essential first step. You must complete this message. Do not skip. Do not scroll. Do not postpone. Because the instant you read to the very conclusion of this divine transmission, something will be unveiled. Something that was hidden away. A buried truth will emerge. And the influence of the one whose name starts with M will be shattered. If this truth resonates with your spirit, please like this video now to activate the flow of God's favor in your life. Do you recall the last instance you felt inexplicably drained? Do you remember that dream you had, the one you couldn't comprehend? That was the precise moment their energy infiltrated your space. And it was no mere accident. They targeted you spiritually because they recognized your light, but they underestimated your divine anointing. They underestimated your sacred protection. And today, Archangel Michael is present to remind you, you are not just anyone. You were specially chosen. And when a chosen individual receives a warning from heaven, they absolutely must heed it. Now, I must pose a bold question to you. Are you prepared to witness what was inscribed about this person in the Book of Judgments? Because I have the power to open it for you, but only if you are spiritually ready. This person, this M, was never meant to remain in your life for such an extended period. They had a designated task, but they overstayed their welcome. And now your blessings are being held back, but not for much longer. Because this message serves as a spiritual court order, and it contains one crucial instruction. Release the one with the M and embrace the one with the miracle. Yes, you're not solely being warned. You are being promised something in exchange. The instant you eliminate their energy, a new presence will enter. It will unfold rapidly, and it will be unequivocally clear. You'll experience a burden lifting. You'll discover a peace you weren't even aware you lacked. You'll receive a message, a phone call, a divine surprise, but it cannot materialize while M continues to occupy space in your spirit. So listen intently now. Allow heaven to guide you through the subsequent part. Close your eyes if necessary, because I will begin to tell you exactly how to identify who this M is. They are someone about whom you've harbored uncertainty. You've consulted God about them previously. You felt a reluctance followed by guilt because you wished not to think ill of them. But it wasn't your intellect, it was your spirit issuing a caution. And now heaven confirms it. They conceal themselves behind smiles, but their words inflict pain when doors are closed. They utter words of peace, yet they incite discord using your name. They project humility, but secretly contend with you. You recognize whom I speak of, don't you? Do not doubt yourself. The adversary seeks to obfuscate your discernment, but today I am sharpening it. And by the culmination of this message, the obscurity will vanish, the truth will illuminate, and a divine liberation will occur. My child, my beloved, the wind is speaking right now, and the message is clearer than it has ever been. The individual whose name commences with M has already made their move. But they overlooked one crucial detail. God observes everything. Nothing concealed shall remain hidden indefinitely. And today marks the day of revelation. You might be experiencing chills at this moment. That is not apprehension. That is your soul beginning to acknowledge the truth. That is the spirit of confirmation flowing through you. This am received prior warnings. They were cautioned through dreams, through various signs not to cause you harm, but they disregarded them. And their disobedience triggered the heavens because you were too important, too precious, too chosen to be treated like this again. So now a divine reversal is being activated. Let me tell you what that means. Everything they directed towards you, words, thoughts, plans, will rebound to them sevenfold. Not because you sought vengeance, but because heaven honors the purity of your heart. And now the justice you didn't request will be delivered right to your doorstep. You need not lift a hand. You need not utter a single word because God is executing it for you. If you are ready to receive this divine reversal and trust God's justice to be delivered, let your spirit declare it. Type "I receive it" in the comments below, but here is something you must comprehend. This M might attempt to contact you soon. They may feign a change of heart. They may speak with more sweetness than ever, but the reality is they've sensed the shift in the spiritual realm. They perceive their access diminishing and now they are desperate to remain in your life. Do not succumb to the illusion. Their apologies are hollow. If their spirit remains impure, you have grown too much to revert. You have witnessed too much to remain oblivious. And heaven declares that you are no longer the same person. So do not respond as your former self would. Respond as the crowned one that you are because a throne is being prepared for you and the one with the M is not permitted to sit beside it. They were never destined to reign with you, only to accompany you for a portion of your journey. But now that segment is concluded and God has whispered this, my child will ascend, but only when the shadows are dispelled. So ascend, beloved, ascend with wisdom, ascend with discernment, ascend with your sword of light, and grasp this truth. Archangel Michael has been personally dispatched for this very situation. I do not intervene in just any conflict. I arrive when the destiny of the chosen is under assault, and yours is, but not for much longer. Because I have examined the scrolls. I have read your name in the heavenly records and I know what awaits you next. A divine exchange. Allow me to clarify what that signifies. When something is taken through manipulation, falsehoods, or deceit, heaven demands restitution. And because this M interfered with your joy, God is preparing to replace what was lost, but in a superior, more potent, sweeter form with divine swiftness. There is another individual whose name begins with L or J. They embody the antithetical energy of M. Where M deceives, this person will unveil. Where M confuses, this soul will provide clarity. Where M took, this one will bestow, and they are nearer than you realize. Heaven is creating space for them by removing the lingering shadow. But you must release it. Do not maintain that connection alive in your heart. Not even silently, not even mentally. Because unspoken soul tests still impede active blessings. But here's the miraculous part. If you release them now, a 7-day countdown will commence. And on the 7th day, you'll awaken to an unforeseen alteration. You'll receive either a message, a deposit, a visitation, or a profound revelation. But it cannot transpire if your hands are still clinging to the pain they caused. Let go. Even if you don't fully comprehend, even if a part of you still yearns for closure, grasp this. God doesn't always provide closure. Sometimes He provides a sword. And that sword is here to sever you from what your heart unknowingly permitted to destroy you. You have been loyal. You have been forgiving. You have been overly patient and haven't witnessed it all. You will be recompensed for your compassion, but not at the expense of your calling. The moment has arrived to make a choice. Cling to the one who attempted to dim your light, or step boldly toward the one who was sent to reignite your flame. I already know what you are choosing because you are still here reading, receiving, believing. And for that I must convey to you. Heaven is proud of you and heaven is not yet finished. There is something significant about today. A key will turn for you. Then a decision you make now in this moment will shape what is released in that month. And it starts with this message. This message was sent to your timeline for a reason. There are millions on Earth. But only you are called to see this message today. That's not random. That's revelation. And when you respond to revelation, you receive elevation. So now I give you this next step. Say this out loud with your spirit in alignment. I release the one whose energy no longer honors my purpose. I break agreement with deception and I step into full alignment with divine truth. Amen. That small prayer just sent shockwaves into the spiritual world. Chains just broke, light just pierced through the confusion. And a spiritual gate just opened for you. Do you feel it? Something is shifting even now, and yet there's still more I must reveal to you. Because the one with the M was not acting alone. There was another spirit whispering in their ear. A generational spirit, one that's been in your family before. It used manipulation, jealousy, and flattery to get close to chosen ones. And now it tried to work through M, but heaven has caught it. And heaven is ready to destroy it once and for all. But you must see it for what it is, a pattern, not just a person. And if you break the pattern, your entire bloodline shifts. Yes, this is bigger than you. What you do today may heal wounds from 3 generations back. What you choose now could bless the next 3 generations forward. That's why the enemy fought this message. That's why this nearly didn't reach you. But it did, because your angels are stronger. Because you were always meant to know the truth. And because the time is now, my child, my beloved, there is something you need to know before the next 24 hours pass. If this prophetic word is bringing you breakthrough, share it with your network now to activate the anointing and extend that blessing to others who need to hear it. The name M has become a spiritual echo around you, and echoes don't lie. You've heard it in your dreams. You've seen it on paper. You've noticed it more than usual. That is not coincidence. That is heaven amplifying the signal until you finally open the message meant for your freedom. And now you have. Now you are aligned. And now the truth will be poured out like oil upon you. Let me tell you the part they never wanted you to know. This person whose name begins with M was never just a casual person in your life. They were a decoy, a divine test, a spirit in disguise to see if you could tell light from imitation light. They wore kindness like a mask. They spoke spiritual things just enough to sound trustworthy. But their intention was always self-serving. They were never loyal to your growth, only to your access. They weren't present for your heart, only your energy. But now you've awakened. Now the veil has been torn. Now your soul is seeing clearly. That's why the tension started increasing between you and this M recently. Because when God starts shaking the tree, the rotten fruit starts falling. And that's exactly what's happening. Don't try to fix what God is trying to finish. Don't try to restore what heaven is trying to remove. This may appear again in dreams, in memory, or even in physical reality. But now you will see differently. Now the spell is broken because the enemy had wrapped their identity in confusion. They appeared sweet, but their name carried a spiritual bitterness meant to distract your destiny. And I must tell you this, they were sent to delay your alignment with a miracle. Yes, a miracle is overdue, and heaven is not okay with the delay anymore. So I've been sent to break it, to expose it, and to announce the next phase of your divine story. You, beloved, are stepping into the most sacred transition of your life. And everything that was hidden behind the curtain will now be laid bare before your spirit. You will begin to see it in your body, clarity will return to your thoughts. The heaviness in your chest will start lifting. Suddenly, ideas will flow again. Suddenly, love will feel real again. Suddenly, joy will no longer feel like a memory because empathic. There will be a divine repayment. And not just for what was taken, but for every second you spent confused, doubting yourself, crying behind closed doors, you will be restored. But more than that, you will be lifted. Now listen closely. There is a number being shown to me, the number 3. This number is appearing as a window in time. 3 days, 3 people, 3 messages. Within the next 3 days, someone will contact you. It may come as a comment, a strange dream, or even a passing word from a stranger. But hidden inside it will be confirmation. Heaven loves to confirm. And because you stayed to read this sacred scroll, heaven will reward your patience with a sign that no one can argue with. And when it arrives, say nothing out loud, just nod your head in quiet agreement. That's how the blessing will unlock. Because when you spiritually agree with truth, earth must respond. Even the angels rejoice when a chosen one awakens to divine alignment. And you, beloved, you are waking up not just from sleep, but from spiritual sleep. You are no longer walking in the fog created by M's presence. You are now moving into sacred visibility. People will begin noticing your light again. Doors will begin responding to your vibration again. Heaven is tuning you like an instrument, and the sound of your life will be harmony once more. But you must stay alert, because when one false soul is exposed, the enemy sometimes tries to send another. But not this time, because the one coming next, the one with the J or L, they are not just a person, they are a key. They are the next step in the divine promise that was paused. You see, beloved, the M was a blocker, but this next person is a builder. And builders don't just appear by accident, they are summoned by your growth. Heaven always replaces what it removes. But what's coming next isn't just a replacement. It's an upgrade because you've graduated. Because you passed the test of spiritual discernment, because you were willing to read the message that most would scroll past. And heaven honors that. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Now listen, I must share a secret. God told me something just before I arrived to speak to you. He said, "Tell my child I've hidden their name in the palm of my hand, and nothing can snatch them from me now." Do you know what that means? You are sealed, you are protected, you are in a divine holding. Even when you don't feel it, even when the world shakes, your foundation will hold because you are written in places that demons cannot erase. Your name has been recorded in scrolls they cannot touch. That's why they fought you so hard. That's why M was sent. Not because you were weak, but because you were important. They feared what you would become. They knew your light would wake others up. So they tried to trap you with sweetness laced in spiritual poison. But heaven has purged it now. You are being cleaned from the inside out. And once the spirit is clean, miracles can live there. Yes, miracles. Because the season ahead of you is nothing short of divine reversal. You thought it was over. You thought you missed your chance. But what if I told you it's only just beginning, and this time no M will stand in your way? Because this time you will see clearly. This time you will listen to your spirit the first time it whispers. This time you will say yes to peace, even if it means saying no to people. Because your destiny is louder than their comfort, and heaven is watching now. My child, my beloved, now that your eyes have opened, now that your spirit has begun to rise, heaven is ready to show you what was always waiting behind the veil. There is one last thing I must tell you about the person whose name begins with the letter M. They are watching you. Yes, even now they sense that something has shifted in the atmosphere. They don't know exactly what, but they can feel you pulling away from their control, from their influence, from their secret spiritual attachment. You see, they weren't just close to you in the physical. They tried to tether themselves to your destiny. They knew they couldn't stop what God had planned for you. So they tried to delay it. But beloved, they failed because you're here now. Reading this, waking up to the truth, opening your spiritual eyes. And as you break free, I see the chains falling all around you one by one. Fear is breaking, confusion is breaking, manipulation is breaking. Your inner voice is returning to full strength. You'll begin to hear it clearer now. That voice inside that says, "This isn't right." That holy knowing that says, "Walk away." Don't doubt it this time. That's how God speaks to his chosen. Not always with thunder, but sometimes with a whisper. And today, that whisper has become a warning, not to scare you but to prepare you. You've been given a second chance to rebuild the part of you that M tried to slowly dismantle. Piece by piece, you will become whole again. Piece by piece, heaven will restore what was taken. And not just restore, but multiply. Because when God sees betrayal, he prepares a table, a divine feast in the presence of your enemies. And that M they will watch from afar as you flourish. They will wonder how you rose after what they did. They will wonder how heaven still chose you, and the answer will be simple. You never stopped being chosen. Even when you doubted, even when you broke, even when you were confused by their charm, God never removed his hand from you. He just waited. Waited for the moment you would open this message and remember who you really are. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are divinely aligned for something far greater than what you just walked away from. Let me tell you what's coming next. You will be gifted something in the next 9 days. I see it clearly, a gift unexpected, a gift wrapped in peace. It could be a person, an opportunity, a divine instruction, a burst of healing, or even a message that shifts your entire mindset. But it's coming and it will come because of what you just did. You said yes to clarity. You said yes to light. You said yes to letting go of the who no longer belongs in your energy. And now heaven is saying yes to you. You are stepping into a new chapter where your discernment is sharper, your spirit is lighter, your heart is protected, and your gifts are unlocking. You will start seeing the signs more often now. The time on the clock, the feathers, the names, the numbers. You'll begin feeling nudges to go left instead of right to call this person, but not that one. To say yes to something new, even if it scares you, don't second guess it. That's divine instruction flowing through you. You were never meant to live stuck in cycles. And heaven is done letting you be delayed. Now you will rise faster than anyone expected because there's a calling over your life that can no longer be postponed. And the moment you said yes to this message, that calling began to reactivate. I want you to breathe slowly. Now close your eyes for just a moment. Let your chest rise and fall. Let the spiritual weight lift. You're not carrying it anymore. Heaven's archangelic forces have been dispatched on your behalf. They are surrounding your home. They are watching your digital space. They are protecting your family, and they are clearing every path you walk on. Now listen closely. The name will come up again in a conversation, in a dream, or in a moment of silence. When it does, remember this message. Don't go back. You don't belong where confusion lives. You belong where peace reigns. You belong in divine timing, not toxic cycles. You belong in God's arms. And I say to you now, your future is too valuable to trade for familiar pain. This time, your spirit will choose differently, and the heavens will honor that. I see your feet stepping into new spaces. Conversations filled with love, not manipulation. Friendships with people who pour into you, not drain you. Laughter that heals instead of hurts. And a love, yes, a love that doesn't hide behind masks. It's closer than you think. God has not forgotten your tears. He has not ignored your silent prayers. Even the ones you couldn't put into words. Even the ones you whispered while staring at the ceiling late at night. He caught them all, and now he answers through this. You are protected. You are free. You are chosen. And the one whose name begins with M can no longer block what God is about to do for you. This is your final confirmation. You've been asking for a sign. This is it. Don't second guess it again. Trust what you feel right now. That stillness, that peace, that breath you just took, that's the evidence that something has finally shifted. If you feel this profound shift and the confirmation of your freedom, seal it in the spiritual realm. Type Amen now and claim your breakthrough. This message reached you because God overruled everything that tried to stop it because He loves you. Because you matter. Because your future is far too bright to let one name drag it into darkness. And now you walk forward with the sword of truth, with the shield of clarity, with the armor of discernment, and with the voice of heaven whispering at every step. I go before you, I make the path straight, you are never alone. So my child, my beloved, take this message deep into your heart. Let it mark the beginning of your rise. Let it be the turning point. Because from this moment on, you are no longer under the spell of M. You are under the grace of God. And nothing, no one can stop what's about to come for you, my child, my beloved. There is something else heaven whispered to me just moments ago. It was soft, but urgent, and it has to do with a decision someone else is making about you right now. Yes, even while you're reading this, someone with authority over something important in your life is thinking about your name. They're hovering, hesitating because there's still spiritual interference trying to block the blessing. And the name involved in that interference, it starts with M. Again, this is the final moment for that energy to be cut off fully. There is no more time to entertain what God is trying to erase. The angels have gathered around this final alert, and this is not a drill. You're standing at a gate. On one side is more of the same confusion. On the other is everything you prayed for. The clarity, the money, the real love, the health news you've been hoping for. But the gate won't open halfway. You must step fully through. And this message, this moment is your spiritual act of stepping. I know letting go is hard, especially when you've loved deeply. But I tell you now, heaven never asks you to release something unless something better is already waiting. God is not cruel. He is calculating divine alignment. And when He closes a door, it's because your throne is on the other side of the hallway. And that hallway, you're walking through it now. This message is the hallway. And I see someone standing at the end of it smiling. They carry no hidden motive, no shadows in their speech. They are pure. They are aligned, and most importantly, they were sent. They were delayed before because M was blocking the gate. But now that blockage is being removed. There will be signs of this in the coming hours. Yes, hours, not weeks. Something strange will happen around your phone or screen. Either you'll get a message that surprises you or something will go silent that was draining your energy. Don't panic. That's confirmation. That's alignment correcting itself. You are being shifted upward quietly but with holy force. And soon the people who thought they had power over you will be shocked at how quickly things turn in your favor. You'll start to notice it in your face, your body, your thoughts, your environment. Everything will begin to clear because M took up too much spiritual space. And now that space is being made holy again. My beloved, you are now standing in the moment that your future will look back on and say that was the moment everything began to change. Yes, this is that moment. And even though it may feel like you're still in the same place physically, spiritually, everything just moved. You just got promoted without needing permission. Heaven just signed your name to something sealed, and the M who tried to delay it will now be denied access to your destiny. I know your heart is tender. You wanted to believe the best, but now you will no longer suffer for someone else's lesson. You will rise and they will watch you shine. My child, my beloved, do not consider it insignificant that you opened this message today. Do not believe it's an accident that your eyes encountered these words at this specific hour. Heaven has been orchestrating this divine moment since before you even realized something was amiss. Before you discerned the patterns, before the confusion began, before you started questioning your self-worth because of an individual whose name begins with M. Yes, it has all been leading here to now to this precise moment. And now you are no longer operating from fear, but from spiritual truth. And truth will invariably shake loose everything false surrounding you. So do not be surprised if certain individuals become distant after this. Do not be surprised if you cease hearing from those you once pursued. That's not rejection, that's divine rearrangement. God is creating space, and you will no longer be encircled by people who secretly begrudge you. You will no longer plead to be understood by those who were never meant to hold your heart. You will no longer diminish yourself merely to keep others at ease. Because this next iteration of you, it is too formidable to conceal. You've been hidden for long enough. But the veil is lifting and M cannot follow where you are destined to go next. Because what lies ahead of you is consecrated, sacred, prepared in your name before you were even born. You are stepping into a domain where the very soil has been awaiting the touch of your feet. The path is new, but your spirit has already traversed it in visions. You've dreamt it. You've sensed it. You've had a premonition that something was approaching, and now it is here. You're going to experience a sudden surge of physical energy and unusual silence from individuals who formerly diverted your attention, an invitation from someone unexpected, a message containing an open. Allow me to grant you a glimpse of heaven's plan. Door. These are not arbitrary occurrences. Because when a chosen one ceases to tolerate deceptive energy, heaven dispatches the authentic, and the authentic is arriving more swiftly than you ever imagined because there was a delay caused. These are the repercussions of your spiritual decision to finally sever eyes with what heaven no longer endorses. I am. But now the delay is broken. Now the scroll has been opened, and now your name is being proclaimed in the heavenly courts. You have been deemed faithful, even when you were perplexed, even when you were wounded. Even when you loved mistakenly, you still loved profoundly. And heaven never punishes a pure heart. Instead, it elevates it. So now I say to you, release the M in your soul, not just your mind. Let them go spiritually. Let their shadow no longer dwell beside your name because they were sent for a season. But that season has reached its conclusion. You are now transitioning into a new spiritual cycle. And this cycle will encompass new finances, new clarity, new honor, new rest, and new love. Yes, beloved, love is approaching, and this time it will not wound you. It will not confuse you. It will not deplete you because it will not be sent to test you. It will be sent to heal you, but first, you must permit heaven to complete its work. There is one more spiritual assignment being concluded over your name this week. That's why you've been perceiving strange energy. That's why your sleep has been disturbed. That's why your thoughts have been circulating aimlessly, because heaven is finalizing something. It's closing the chapter on everything connected to M. And when the final page turns, you will ascend. Not the same, not partially, but fully transformed, purified, anointed for what comes next. And I promise you this, beloved, you will reflect upon this message one day and you will declare with tears in your eyes, that was the moment I awoke. That was the moment God rescued me from delay. That was the moment my life transformed irrevocably. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our exclusive community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you," every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. If you've been touched by this prophetic word and are experiencing a shift, share this message with your network now to activate the anointing and extend that breakthrough to others who are hungry for. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. Truth. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's take a moment to reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is not a stroke of luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He's extending his hand and inviting you into a protected vibrational community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is very simple, but it can change your whole life if you follow it. You won't just receive blessings. They will be multiplied and flow into every part of your life. By accepting this invitation right now, you are unlocking immediate early access to powerful content and divine insights that are hidden from the general world. Now is your chance to enter a sacred space where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. If you desire to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And for those who feel called to amplify this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is available, which is completely optional. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.